Okay, so today we're going to be looking at note names and bar lines. So music is basically made up of notes, and it's how they are organized with these bar lines that we know how to play our music. When we're thinking about notes, we think today we're going to be looking at mainly about how long do we hold those notes for. So we can hold a note for the three different types we're going to be looking at today. We can hold a note for 4 beats, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We could hold a note for 2 beats, so that's 1, 2, 1, 2. Or we could hold a note for just 1 beat, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So looking at those three, we're going to think about how to organize them and then how to add in notes when we have spaces. So it's a bit mathsy is how I like to think about it. It's a lot about adding up to a certain number. So we're going to firstly look at the first note we're going to look at today, which is a semibreve. And it's drawn like a little oval on its side. And I'm going to write how many beats. How many beats. So how many beats is a semibreve worth? It's worth 4 beats. So that would be our one that's held for 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is the same kind of circle but with a line up of it called a minim. And this line here is called the stem of the note. And the minim is worth 2 beats. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2. The semibreve is 1, 2, 3, 4. The minim is 1, 2, 1, 2. And finally we have a crotchet. So it's the same as a minim, but the circle is filled in. And this one's called a crotchet. And crotchets are held for 1 beat. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So music is basically made up of how we organize these to make our rhythms and then what notes these will actually play. We're not going to look at the melodic side of things today. We're only looking at rhythm. So now we have to look at the bar lines that separate our music. So in music, we usually have a thing called a time signature, which we won't be looking at too much today, but it usually looks like something like this, or like this, or like this. And all this means is how many beats do we have in the bar, in a certain bar of music. So today we're only going to be looking at these top numbers, which are more important than the bottom numbers for the moment. And these are the ones that tell us how many beats are in each bar. So 4 here means that we need to have 4 beats in the bar. 3 means 3 beats in a bar, and 2 means 2 beats in a bar. And what I mean by in a bar is that we fit 4 beats until we write another bar line. So let's look at an example. If we have, here's our bar lines. And I'm going to draw a semibreve. I'm going to draw 2 minims, 4 crotchets, 2, 3, and 4, and then another semibreve. So I'm going to write a 4 at the front of here. We're not going to worry about the bottom number, so we're only look at the first one. And the 4 means we need to have 4 beats per bar. So let's check if we have that. How much is a semibreve worth? It's worth 4. So I'm going to just write the numbers underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're happy that this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can write our next bar line. So we've written our next bar line. The minim is worth 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 beats in there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. The crotchets are worth 1 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Another bar line. And then we're back to our minim, our semibreve, which is worth 1, 2, 3, 4. And at the end of every bar of or every line of music, when we're finished, we draw a double bar line. So it's just 2 lines like this. So just to look back at that, the 4 here means we need to have 4 beats in each bar. So that means 4 beats before we can draw another bar line. we have here that there is a minim, or semi-brief, so that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's worth 4 beats. So it's held for these 4 beats. We then have a minim, which is 2, and another minim, which is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4. We've got crotchets, which are all worth 1, and we have 4 of them, so that's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 4. And then another semi-brief, which is worth 4. Let's just look at one more example. So if I look at bars with a 3, so a 3 means that we have to have 3 beats in a bar. So straight away, you have to think, can we use the semi-brief? Because we have 4 beats is a semi-brief. So we can't actually fit a semi-brief when we have a 3. So let's start with a crotchet. That's 1 beat. And then I'm going to draw a minim, which is 2 beats. Can I fit any more in before I write a bar line? So that's worth 1. This is on the second beat, and how many is this worth? This is worth 2. So we've got 1 plus 2, which is 3. So I wouldn't be able to fit anything else in. So we draw our bar line, and our 3 goes under there. So that will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The next one, I'm going to draw a minim. And can I fit anything else in here? We've already got, that counts as 1, 2. We need another beat, so we're missing something here. So I'm going to draw a crotchet, because that's the only one that's worth 1 beat. Then I'm going to draw a crotchet and a crotchet, which is worth 1, 2. And what else can I fit here? I can only fit a crotchet. And we're going to finish our music. So all the number at the start means is how many we can fit into the bar. And that's really, it's a maths kind of idea. So if you can figure out that these are all worth numbers, and you just need to fit these numbers into the bars, then it'll make more sense. So one other thing I want to look at is if we had some missing space, how are we going to deal with it? So say if we had 4, so that means we have to fit 4 in a bar. And we've got this, let's think. Okay, so there's our music. We've got a semi-brief at the start, a minim, and then 2 crotchets at the very end. So first of all, this semi-brief, how much is it worth? It's worth 4 beats. So are we going to fit anything else in this bar of music? No, we're not. So there's no point in writing anything there. We've got a minim here, which is worth 2 beats, and we need 4 in this little space here. So we need to fit something else in there. What options do we have? Well, we could do 2 crotchets, which would get us 1 and 1, which is 2, or we could get another minim. So I'm going to do 2 crotchets. It doesn't matter which one you choose. And remember to space them out like there's an extra beat. So I'm just going to write in the numbers just so you can see. But I haven't put that next crotchet right beside it. I've left a space to pretend that there's a beat there. And now we've got this big gap here and then 2 crotchets at the end. So we need to fit 2 more beats in. So when I can either have another 2 crotchets or a minim. So I'm actually going to put a minim here. Like our last bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just a reminder that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the basics of how notes are made. Notes are organized into bars. Remember that for the moment we're just looking at this number here, which it means how many beats in each bar. So we can also have a 2, but I haven't done that today. Our semi-briefs are worth 4, our minims are worth 2, and our crotchets are equal 1. And think about it from a maths point of view if you can. So adding things together to fill up a bar.